fishing people, outdoor people of all types, sizes, cuts, and creeds, I figured I should do a little walkthrough slash talk through of my native watercraft Slayer Max 10 and maybe why I chose this kayak over other available kayaks. You know, some more expensive, some cheaper, some around the same price, and a lot of the accessories that I feel are necessary to make this kayak more livable and a little more functional on the water. This is my native watercraft Slayer Max Propel 10. Propel meaning pedal driven, 10 meaning 10 foot long, and Max meaning that this is the upper iteration of the Slayer series from Native Watercraft. Now, one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason I chose this kayak over others that were available to me being key, because you cannot find these in Bass Pro, you will not find these in Dick's Sporting Goods, you will not find these at Big Five, at least in my area of California, which is the Central Valley. I had to go to an actual water sports store to pick this up. I went to Lodi Paddle Sports in Lodi, California. Very good store, very helpful, very informative staff. And I pretty much had to call in and wait for this shipment of natives to come in to be able to obtain this kayak. This is the Propel pedal apparatus of the Slayer Max 10. Now this is kind of like what they would say like a BMX style, kind of bicycle style Propel system, which seemed way more comfortable to me than a lot of the other available kayaks like Hobie with the push feet, the little push pedals. That just didn't seem very comfortable to me. It didn't seem like I could be out in the water for however many hours just pedaling, pushing my feet like that all day. An awesome luxury this thing comes with is, you know, you're pedaling forward, there's an instant reverse. There is no cord to pull, there is no flip the switch, there is no toggle to be toggled. Say you're fishing a spot, you're fishing a bunch of tulies over here. You pull up to it, you're floating toward it, you cast, you catch a fish. You want to instantly back up from that spot to keep fishing that spot. You can with this. There is no cord, there is nothing like that. You just instantly pedal the pedals backward and you're moving away from the spot. Another awesome thing that this comes with is a prop indexer. So when you pull it up, pull in and out of the drive position, if your prop is sideways, you're not going to be able to fit it through that hole. So what you do is you pop that down, pedal the pedal just a bit, the other way again, and the prop will hit that indexer and you can pull it up through the cutout for the drive. So these pedals are even an upgrade from the previous iterations of this Propel drive. They're kind of like big plastic pedals. These are more of a bicycle BMX style pedal here, which are really good actually. And they have these little cutouts where you can put the pegs to actually grip your boot, grip your shoe, whatever you're pedaling with. This thing is so smooth. And it's, you know, I can be out on the water for hours with this thing pedaling around the whole lake or the river system, whatever you're on. And you're gonna get tired, but you're not gonna get worn out. This thing is so smooth, it's awesome. And apparently the newer models come with this weed guard here for your prop. So I guess the past models didn't come with that. And say you're pedaling through grass, a lot of it would get caught up. You gotta pull your drive up, pick out the weeds, drop it back down, and keep going. Well, this comes with this little coupling here that acts as a perfect little weed guard for this propeller. And to drop this drive down, it's so simple. You just pick that thing up, unbungee these straps, flip that little center console over, drop your drive right through there, flip that back over, cover it up, flip that back over, push in that little lock there, and it's not going anywhere. This thing is not moving. It is totally secured, and you're pedaling. To disengage it, you just do the reverse. Pull that little locking pin back, remove your tray, use your prop indexer, or if you can see your prop, center it. Pull that thing right up, put your console back on. Nice and simple. The other major reason I chose this kayak was the seat. The positioning of it, the iteration of it, and some of the accessories this seat comes with. So I'm not sure which other models and which other years actually come with this, but this is one of the most convenient things in this kayak. And one of my favorite things about this seat is this drawer here. It's actually pretty big. I never pulled it out that far before, but this is an awesome little junk drawer where you can put whatever immediate objects you're reaching for in your kayak back and forth. If you want to keep a certain soft plastic in there, if you want to keep your scissors, your line cutters, pliers, your gloves, some snacks, whatever you want to put in there. You can even fit two 3600 size Plano boxes in here, right underneath your seat. Slides out. It's even secured by this little bungee strap, which you can remove. This thing can freely slide back and forth. That is an awesome little detail to add in there. And I would call that an accessory in its own, but that actually comes with the seat. This is not an upgrade. This comes with the Slayer Max 10. Another little addition that I found awesome and totally, actually very thoughtful on Native's side is the inclusion of these little accessory plates here. These are sacrificial plates, so you don't have to drill into your kayak or cut holes into your kayak if you want to add in electronics or some kind of little switch panel, lights, whatever you want to put in here. Say you want to add a fish finder, you got to run wires from your front little hatch here to your fish finder. You don't have to cut any specific hole into your actual kayak. You can cut holes into this thing. It's like a real tough plastic. Unscrew it, run your wires through, cut the hole, mount up whatever you got to mount up. And I'm pretty sure you can order these on the Native website if you need replacements. Which ties in with that, those little plates there, is the front hatch. Great little clips there to hold it down. You do have a little bungee up here. Two little compartments to store different things. This tray comes out where you have access to the hole where you can run your wires through. And this other little cubby hole is a designated area to run a transducer. You can fit a battery in here. You unscrew this and it's a perfect little spot to fit your transducer, which comes out in that little cubby area right underneath your boat. You run your wires through to your fish finder that sits right on that gear track using your sacrificial plate. That is an awesome, very thoughtful thing to add in from Native Watercraft. To not cut holes in your boat. Who wants to cut holes or drill holes into your boat if you don't have to? Another awesome little inclusion from Native Watercraft, very thoughtful, is to add in these cubby holes to fit some extra tackle boxes. You can fit 3600 size Plano tackle boxes in here, one on either side, and you can fit two more inside your junk drawer. You can carry up to four 3600 size tackle boxes without having to use your storage area back here. Now, a big thing I forgot to mention about the seat is that it's actually adjustable. You can slide it back and forth. If you're taller, you can slide it back. If you're shorter, you can slide it forward to be able to reach your pedal drive. Very simple and easy. Loosen these little wing nuts, one on either side, and it sits right there on this track where you can slide it back, slide it forward, wherever you want to put it to fit your height. So this rudder handle, I do have a bit of a problem with this handle, even though it does feel pretty sturdy compared to other models I felt. There's a little bit of play in there, but it does feel good, smooth, and sturdy. But the one complaint I have about it is that it's too low from the deck here. Me being only 5'6", I do have to kind of hunch over. I can only imagine people that are 6 foot and above having to hunch over farther to control this thing. There are rudder like handle upgrades you can buy. There might be one from Native. I know there's one from Burley Pro, but they do get pricey. If this thing could just be 2 or 3 inches taller, that would be a major upgrade and an awesome compliment to this thing. These new improved kind of BMX handles on this kayak are a lot better, more grippy, more durable than the styrofoam they used to have. You can also roll these back and mount something else up here if you want to. There's one here on the front, one on each side, and two in the back, so you can lift this kayak up, load it into your truck. You and a buddy can pick it up, move it around. You're not picking this thing up by yourself. Don't try it. It's 97 pounds. Being that this is only a 10-foot kayak, there's actually a pretty big space back here to fit whatever kind of tackle boxes you want to hold. I have this little crate I got from Bass Pro with some rod holders from Walmart. You can put a Yak Attack black pack back here, some kind of Pelican box, maybe a big cooler, some tackle bags, whatever you want to put back here. There's plenty of space. I chose to go with this little crate. It does have these bungees to secure that down, And if you take your crate out, you can still put those bungees across to hold down whatever backpack or cooler you want in there. So having these big heavy vessels, you are going to need some kind of landing gear. I'm sure there's different little kind of carts or different wheels you can buy to cart this thing around. I suggest just spending the money and going with some kind of landing gear. This is the Boondocks landing gear I got from the same store. I had this installed at the store. You do have to drill a couple of holes into your kayak. I did not feel comfortable doing that, so the professionals paid them an extra 80 bucks to install this thing for me. This is so simple, so convenient, and so easy to carry around your kayak. Being that this thing is 97 pounds without all the extras on top, this just makes my life so much easier to pull it in and out of the truck, bring it down to the launch ramp, even move it around my garage. The landing gear is totally necessary. I completely urge you and advise you to get these things when you can, whether it be the Native Sidekick, the Boondocks landing gear, whatever other kind of landing gear you can find, just get it. Just spend the money, get those, it'll make your life easier. So I do have a couple little extra accessories on this boat. Not as many as I want to have or as many as I will have, but a couple little things that I recommend you just get as soon as you buy this kayak. And a couple of those things being these Yak Attack Roto Grips, or Roto Grips, whatever they call them. I keep one here on my gear track and one here on top of my pedal drive. There is a designated little piece of thread there where you can screw in some different things. Now what I have that for is to keep my landing net on my kayak at all times, out of the way of my feet, within reach of my arm where I can grab this thing, net the fish, bring it back up to the boat. It's a perfect little spot to have it. That's what that one's for. The one here on top of the pedal drive, in case I need to make a quick little move or just need to, stand up real quick, take a look around, I can drop my rod right between my legs and it sits right on top of there in that little rotor grip. It won't fall off the deck. You can use the rod holders, but this is just very convenient to have it right there between your legs. Of these couple things, the one that I would recommend the most is this Yak Attack, what they call a double header. It's pretty much a little bracket with the double rotor grips on there to hold your paddle. You have your paddle, drop it in just like that. It locks in and you have these little bungee straps. Strap it over. That thing is not coming out. Now you do have these little, what they call taco grips back here to keep a paddle. Designated cutouts to hold your paddle down. If you, break it down in half, you put them back here, they're totally stowed away. The problem is, being way up here in your seat, it's not that easy to reach back and grab your paddle from back here if necessary. If you're launching, if you're coming back into launch, if you're got to lift up your drive and drive over some shallow area, if you just got to paddle, any kind of paddling situation, it's not that easy to reach back here and grab your paddle, connect it, keep going. So they made this thing to where the paddle's alongside my kayak, completely out of my way, completely convenient. Just reach over, grab it, unhook it, paddle, whatever I need to do, drop it back in there. These rod holders, there are 3 rod holders that are built into the hull of this kayak. One on each side right behind the seat and one right next to your seat. Now what this thing is for, you see it's actually angled kind of forward. Say you catch a fish, you gotta unhook it. You can put your rod right there. It's sturdy out of the way, it's not gonna fall out of the boat, and unhook the fish, throw them back in the water, whatever you gotta do. Grab your rod, keep on fishing. Or if you gotta change a bait, drop it right in there, cut it off, tie up a new one, you're ready to fish. I think it's awesome. Right next to that's a little cup holder, and you have these little cubbies on each side. There's one on each side, one there, one right down there, where you can keep your pliers, scissors, whatever other little tools you might need. Now the rod holders back here are more slung to the back. Pretty much you keep 2 poles behind you. So on this kayak, as it's set up right now, I can keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rods on me at all times. I do suggest you get some kind of little box, some kind of crate, Yak Attack, Black Pack, some kind of Pelican box, something to keep your extra tackle, all your extras with you at all times. I do not like to leave the house without some extra fishing line. I don't leave without it. There goes all my leader line, some 12-pound main line for my crankbait rod. Here goes, a little finesse box, a bag of extra soft plastics. There's an apple back here for some reason. I advise you get or make some kind of little box to carry all your extras with you. I know you have your junk drawer, you have your little slots to keep your tackle boxes, but that can just make life a lot easier. And where my wheels are mounted, I even have this little space between where I can drop a little lunch pail with some snacks, some waters in it, extra sweater, extra jacket. This thing just has a lot of space to keep what you need to on it, being only a 10-foot vessel. With the Slayer Max series, there is a 10-foot model and there is a 12.5-foot model. I ended up going with the 10. I was originally looking for the 12.5, which are a little not as easy to find as these. I did originally want the 12.5 because it's a little bit longer, more stable, more room. But this, being the 10-foot model, already sticks out of the bed of my truck a good almost 2 feet. So having 3.5, 4 feet sticking out of my truck, it seemed like too much. And this thing is honestly, it's everything I needed. It's a 400-pound weight capacity. It holds me and all of my stuff no problem. I had not a single scare or even a thought of flipping over in this thing. It's so stable. I've been in windy weather. I've been on choppy water. I have not had any problems with this. So this video, I didn't want to make a whole long video on every single little knickknack that this thing comes with. There are plenty others on YouTube already. I just wanted to make a video on what made me decide to buy this kayak. The pedal drive, the angle, the positioning, the height of the seat, the low slung deck where it actually feels like I'm sitting in a seat instead of being my feet flung out forward all day. All the little conveniences and accessories that this thing comes with, the junk drawer, the ease of dropping the pedal drive down, the front trunk, the option to add in the transducer, the sacrificial plates on the side, the good big area in back to hold a trunk, ice chest, whatever I need. This was just the kayak for me. And I just wanted to give some of the reasons why I chose this over others. Now, if you can, I advise you go to an actual store and check these things out for yourself. Watching videos and actually putting your hands on something are obviously a lot different. I was actually able to go check this out in the store. I couldn't take it out on the water. I couldn't demo it. But just being to look at it and check it out and see the actual thing in person instead of opposed to a video, it helped me decide to choose this over other kayaks. Now, the price. It's a lot of money, but you know, compared to other kayaks and what you get with those things, I still believe this is worth it. At Lodi Paddle Sports, I got the actual kayak, the seat, the pedal drive, and the landing gear. With the time I paid them to put on the landing gear to install it for me, I paid a total of $34.80. That's $3,480 out of the door to have this thing fully ready for me to go. The double header was, I think, 27 bucks. The 2 rotor grips were $17 each. So all out the door, you know, $36.50 to have this thing ready to go, I think is an awesome price. And as long as you take care of it and you don't pop a hole in this thing, it'll last you a lifetime. At least that's what I believe. So I figured this is a good investment. And plus the simplicity of taking out a kayak opposed to a bass boat or some kind of other boat where you got to pay for gas, you have to get a trailer. Now this thing slides in the bed of my truck. I have a couple of NRS straps over there. Those were another 20 bucks a piece. I have a couple of NRS straps, strap this thing to my back of my truck and take off no problem. So hopefully this was a little informative and can help you decide maybe a little better on what kayak maybe you should get. But I still advise you try to go to a store that has a lot of availability of this brand and other brands to help you narrow down your choices. Thanks.